happiest day of my days at Ferrari so far. So it feels great to be able to put the Ferrari on the podium. And
Listen, guys, hold on, because what is happening inside Ferrari right now is absolutely insane. We are talking about a team that came into 2026 with massive dreams, a legendary new signing, and a car full of upgrades, and somehow things are still on fire. Hamilton versus Leclerc power battles, a car that gets slower with every upgrade, an electric car controversy that wiped billions off Ferrari's value, and a contract situation that nobody fully understands. So, buckle up, because this Ferrari story in 2026 is something else entirely. Hamilton's Ferrari journey from nightmare to hope. So let's start from where it all began. When Hamilton moved to Ferrari in 2025, the whole world was watching. Everyone expected fireworks. The greatest driver of his generation and the most iconic team in Formula One. But honestly, that first season was painful to watch. Hamilton went through the entire 2025 season without a single Grand Prix podium, which had literally never happened in his career before. Not once. The man who won 6 titles with Mercedes was being out-qualified and out-raced by his own teammate on a regular basis. But then 2026 arrived and something started to shift. The new regulations gave Hamilton a completely different feeling in the car, and you could see it. He was quicker, more confident, and actually enjoying himself again. He picked up a podium in Shanghai, and people started wondering, is this finally it? Is Hamilton about to wake up? And then Canada happened, which we will get to in a second, because that weekend changed everything. Hamilton versus Leclerc, the power shift. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Since Hamilton joined Ferrari, Leclerc had been the clear number one. He was quicker in qualifying, better in races, and Hamilton was honestly struggling to match him. But at the Canadian Grand Prix, the whole dynamic flipped completely. Leclerc had what he called the worst weekend of his career. He admitted openly that he felt completely lost with the car and had zero answers for what was happening. Meanwhile, Hamilton was flying. He out-qualified Leclerc. He was tactically brilliant during the race, and he pulled off a stunning overtake on Verstappen in the final laps to grab his best result in red so far. Rob Smedley, who knows Ferrari inside out, said Hamilton had genuinely gotten inside Leclerc's head at Canada. And that is a massive statement, because for the first time since Hamilton arrived at Maranello, it actually looks like the 7-time world champion is starting to take control of this team. The question now is, was Canada just a one-off because it suits Hamilton's driving style, or is this the start of a genuine role reversal? That is the storyline to watch for the rest of this season. The 2027 contract mystery, and now the contract situation, because this one has been buzzing around the paddock for weeks. Before Canada, the Italian media were asking Hamilton directly, "Are you even driving for Ferrari in 2027? And Hamilton shut it down immediately. He said he is still under contract, he is focused, he is motivated, and quote, "There are a lot of people trying to retire me, and that is not even on my thoughts." He even said he is planning for the next 5 years. But here is the twist that makes this genuinely complicated. Reports from Germany suggest that Ferrari actually holds the option on Hamilton's contract extension, not Hamilton himself, meaning Ferrari decides whether he stays, not the other way around. And given that 2025 was such a difficult year for him, there are senior paddock figures who have suggested Ferrari may not offer him a new deal if his performances do not improve. So Hamilton is essentially racing to prove his worth to his own team. That is a wild situation for a 7-time world champion to be in. Ferrari's Miami crisis, 11 upgrades, failed. Now let us talk about the technical side, because things went seriously wrong in Miami. Ferrari showed up with 11, yes, 11, brand new upgrades on the car. It was supposed to be their big statement moment of the season. Instead, the car finished miles behind Mercedes and McLaren, and Hamilton himself described Ferrari's finishing position as no man's land. Leclerc was so frustrated that he demanded an emergency investigation into what went wrong. The upgrades did not just fail to work, the car actually felt slower with them on. Something was fundamentally broken in the development process. The simulator glitch and deployment bug. Inside Maranello, there is reportedly a simulator problem, meaning the data Ferrari is using to develop the car back at base is simply not matching what happens on track. On top of that, there is an energy deployment bug in the 2026 power unit that is costing them performance at critical moments in races. This is not a small problem you fix overnight. This is a structural issue that could affect Ferrari's entire second half of the season if they cannot sort it out before the European races begin. Ferrari's electric car controversy, and just when you thought it was only an on-track crisis, Ferrari dropped another bombshell off the track. They launched their very first fully electric road car called the Luce, and the reaction was brutal. The backlash was so severe that it wiped billions from Ferrari's stock market value overnight. Former Ferrari president Luca Di Montezemolo publicly said the company risks destroying its own legend, and even suggested they should remove the famous prancing horse badge from the car. Flavio Briatore joked that its only advantage was that the Chinese would not bother copying it. Hamilton and Leclerc are now being used to defend the car in public, which tells you everything about how serious the situation is off the track. What happens next? So to wrap this up, Ferrari in 2026 is genuinely one of the most dramatic stories in Formula One right now. They have Hamilton finally waking up and flipping the dynamic with Leclerc. They have a contract situation where Hamilton is racing to prove himself to his own team. They have a car that broke down with 11 upgrades, a simulator that is lying to their engineers, and an electric car that divided their own fan base. My honest opinion? Ferrari has the talent and the resources to fix all of this, but they are running out of time. Monaco and Barcelona are coming up fast, and those results will tell us everything. Now, here is the question I want to leave you with. Do you think Ferrari can actually turn this season around, or is 2026 already gone for them? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.